Following the recent Christmas break, I found myself, after a period of reflection, having seen something that small, but thinking deeply about it, I thought about how meaningful it could be. It was something small, seeing something like it was a small change. At first, it might not be obvious, but to me, it felt like something meaningful. It was a reminder that some things are growing or like progress is being made, even if the growth or progress isn't obvious at first, but like making themselves more noticeable later. Something doesn't like necessarily have to be like loud or all coming up or coming all at once. It can all just simply be about being there, like that a sign that something is growing in the background. Even if we see something happening and it's small, we should like sometimes stop for a moment and reflect more deeply on it. At the time of recording this, my channel is between 3 and 4 months old. At the moment, I've only got one subscription. Just when I think about it, it's one person quietly felt the content. The content has resonated with them well enough for them to subscribe. For me, after much thought about it, presence can mean more than just numbers. After a few months, it can be logical to think that you should have more than one subscriber or lots of views. This all made me think about growth and how it can happen. It may not there may not be the obvious signs of it at first, but the way I think about it here is planting a seed in the ground. At first, it will seem that nothing is growing or happening, but beneath the soil, roots are slowly taking shape, developing and quietly growing, even long before it appears above the surface. The living thing that is growing from like underneath the soil. It's the visible part of something that was already underway long before it appears and has been developing beneath the soil for some time. Since the start of my channel, it could be easy to have thought that there was no obvious signs of it progressing or growing. However, over time, there were small signs of development. Well, nothing dramatic, but it's like slow and quiet increases in listening times, the number of watches, a certain video becoming more popular. To me, the way I think about them is that the videos and the content in them were beginning to like resonate with viewers out there rather than the videos just passing them by. The way I see this here is I compare them to looking after and tending to and attending to a seedling, small acts of care. To me here, these can be the image choice for the thumbnails, the size choices of images, of things to go on the images, in the thumbnails, like a piece of cake, like making it large enough for the piece of cake video to make it more obvious about what it might be to the viewer. So yes, these are thumbnail adjustments. And when it comes to editing, taking time with setting the pace, well, I can compare it to supporting the conditions around it, along with the environment that it may all be in. Example, like going back to the seedling in the soil, it can be like watering it after planting it in the soil, and the soil contains nutrients that the water may help to draw up into the plant, the seedling itself, like watering, without knowing exactly when anything may show. And now I want to take a moment to thank everyone who's taken the time to listen so far to any of the videos, even if you've done so briefly. And also to the first subscriber, who I don't even know, but when I think about it, their presence matters. And even the presence of just one subscriber can matter more than huge numbers. Even only one subscriber, the way I look at it now and think about it, is a quiet kind of support. It feels real, and it's something for which I'm very grateful for. Have you ever wondered how often we might overlook things that might not look busy or alive enough? Quiet moments and small shifts and small increases that might seem insignificant at first. Growth doesn't always announce itself as being energetic and full of lots of momentum. There will be times when it's barely perceptible, but still important. So yes, we should take the time to notice and reflect about how we can understand more about what's happening. Stepping back, I leave things as they are, the seed, the roots developing beneath the soil, quietly, whether I watch or not. There's no need to rush or disturb. You should just let growth happen in its own time, as nature may intend. And sometimes the most important growths are the ones that may be unseen.